So today I want to tell you all a little bit about how I organize my garden. As you all know, this is my second garden. Well, technically my third. The very first garden was the one that was my parents' garden, so I participated in that one. But this is the second one that I got to set up and create. The cool thing about setting up a garden again, you get to avoid all the mistakes you made the first time. And so I'm going to talk to you all about some of those mistakes and some of the changes I made. It's still springtime, and so right now I got some weed business going on over here, but don't mind that. I want you guys to see the reality. So one of the first things that I did is I wanted to have different heights of the beds in my garden. If I stood up, they'd come about to my knee, which is great. So if I grow things like there's mint right here, the mint will probably get this tall. I don't even barely have to reach over to go get it. So if you have any type of mobility issues, or if you're a person that you know I'm going to get old someday and you want to garden for some length of time, I say think about how your body might be when you're older so you have different heights. Also, I made sure I kept a gap between the beds and the fence. My first house, the beds literally touched the fence, and that was such bad idea because it made it really hard when it came for weeding and all of those types of things. And then the way they are spread out. If this was directly behind this bed right here, and I had something too tall here, it could shadow this. And so at least having it this way, the sun can come at all different angles and get all the plants. These nets are super important. First of all, they fold up. So they fold up really easily for storage, which I love. And they have a little tie there, you just tie it down. But what this does, it keeps out butterflies. Now I know we all love butterflies, but butterflies lay eggs. And when they lay eggs, those eggs turn into caterpillars that eat up all your food. So this is a nice way to protect your plants without using pesticides and harsh chemicals, because one of the reasons I garden is to make sure that we're not putting things into our bodies that aren't healthy. And so we can use different ways for pest control that don't involve chemicals. So I talked about your beds need to be at different heights. So these beds are down lower, and the benefit to them being lower is I grow things that grow up taller. So some of the things I've grown in these beds before are Brussels sprouts, which grow up like a stalk. I've grown okra over here, indeterminate tomatoes, and if you remember from previous videos, those are tomatoes that vine up so they can grow up. We had cucumbers in here before, and then also because these beds are so long, we have herbs in each of them. So we have sage, which is blooming, and these flowers are edible. They got like a little peppery taste. Tarragon over here and oregano, and these different herbs keeps pests away, another natural pest control, so you don't have bugs like attacking. So we had a whole bunch of cucumbers back there that we got to eat because the bugs and the animals didn't see them. Also, you need beds to serve different purposes. So this bed right here serves the purpose of growing strawberries. So I'm going to have some strawberries growing down here at the bottom, and then I've used zip ties to tie these pots on this trellis, because I could grow cucumbers here if I wanted to, and I could make them grow up the trellis. But instead, I wanted to have rows of strawberries growing up vertically, because growing vertically saves a lot of square footage, and you know I love to do that. I also have these beds here. So these are a little bit skinnier and narrower. They're up even higher than the first beds I showed you all. And then these beds right here are 3x3s. They're lower, but I have a blackberry plant. And since this back area will get kind of shady, but it still gets sun, I want to put bigger, bushier plants back here. There are so many different types of ways that you can organize your garden. Think about different height levels, because you'll have some plants that will grow tall, then you have short beds, some things that are going to grow low. You want to put that in a higher bed just so you don't have to worry so much. And also think about being flexible. Don't feel you have to buy big beds. If maybe you just buy taller pots, if that's what's really within your budget. And then make sure you spread out your beds appropriately so you can walk around them and that they're not too close to any structures like fences. So you already know, anybody can be a gardener. You just have to get ready, get set, and grow.
Special thanks to Bree MG.